Tea Time with Bev. All right, so we are going to continue our relationship series topic titled Finding Your Boaz. But for today, we're going to do a slight twist. And this is something that our age group, when you reach, you're like your 20s and stuff, or even 30s or 40s, if you haven't settled down. And it's like the pressure you feel when it's like, you know, your family or from friends, or even out there who are settling, having kids, and you haven't yet, settled down, or you don't have any kids or anything like that. So that's what we wanted to talk about, and when is the right time. So that is our topic for today. So stay tuned and let's get started. All right, so I wrote some questions down just to help us flow and we don't go off topic. So the first question is, do you feel like you're being pressured to settle down?
Personally, I would say when it comes to, just as we were talking before, when it comes to like, outside source, just like friends and your environment, I say there's a little bit, kind of pressure, especially, sometimes to church elderly people, elders will be like, hey, when are you, settling and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to my parents, I feel like instead they're telling me like, oh, please sit down, take your time. You're not even ready yet. Because, my mom always, she tells me, oh, don't worry about that. Time will come. And I'm like, well, I'm getting towards, my late 20s. So why aren't you, like prompting me, pushing me to like, it's time. But no, they are actually letting the whole thing take its time. So I wouldn't say I'm really pressured.
You're not really pressured?
No.
Yeah. And I kind of agree with Quinta in the sense that sometimes, if the pressure isn't coming from your family, your friends around you, or the people who you know, or even on Facebook. Anytime you go on Facebook, somebody somewhere is either having kids or they're marrying. So, if we're all, being in the same age group, it does kind of give a slight pressure in the sense that you feel like, oh my goodness, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing differently? Why is it like everybody is kind of like settling and you're still, that where you are at? You're successful in, a lot of areas, but in that particular area where like, so now getting married, starting a family, you haven't achieved that. So that's where you can, as a woman, where I know, I'll say this, so you have a biological clock. So compared to a man who can have kids in his 80s, a woman is a bit different, and the older you get, the more difficult it becomes to conceive. So those are some of the, and the families who do give pressure, they mean well, of course. They just,
Right.
Because there's some women who are lucky, even in their 50s, they can have kids. You can marry any time. But as a woman, it's different because we are the one who bear the children. We carry the kids. We have, give birth to the children. So when you reach a certain age, and it becomes more difficult to have kids. So that's why they feel like as a woman, we get more pressure than men, in a sense. Don't you think?
Yeah, technically.
Because they don't really have to worry about any clock ticking.
In my 70s, you're still pregnant a woman.
Yes. Yes, you can. But I heard stories of women who in their 50s give birth to twins. And then we have the story of Sarah in the Bible.
Yeah. And, that's also one thing that I wanted to bring it up. And as Christians, biological clock really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's all the will of God.
The will of God.
So, if God says, even if you was 50, 60, you have to believe that too, and not feel so pressured by society and all of that, because at the end of the day, as Christians, you really don't move the way society moves. You move according to the will of God. So.
True. So if it's the will of God for you to have a baby in your 60s, It's possible. There was this one woman, the daughter could not conceive, it was in the news, and she ended up, I think she was in her late 50s. She ended up carrying her daughter's child and gave birth to the child successfully. So, you know, and there's some women who they're not too lucky. But if it's God's will, it's God's will.
And again, you know, you can still be married and everything falls in place, and you could be, you know, in your early 20s, but you can't get pregnant.
That's
you know,
true.
There are people too that have been married for like 10 years,
That
20
is
years,
true.
and still can't get a baby. So,
That is so true.
yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Babies are a gift from God.
They're a gift from God, yes. So the next question is, when is the best time to settle down and marry?
I don't really think there's like a best time. It's more like the right time.
Right time, okay.
And you know, I think when people get to find themselves, you know, actually I'm kind of glad that, you know, I'm not in anything, you know, like I wasn't in anything kind of so serious or even married before I got to this stage in my life, because I feel like, you know, I have grown and evolved
as a person,
into a better person that I will be in marriage, as compared to like if I did walk into marriage, and even my choices that I would have made, you know, before being who I am now. So I say the timing and, you know, just being whole as a person, and when is the right time, you feel like it's the right time, because every other thing in life is gonna fall in place, and then you start feeling like, you know, it is probably time for you to start a family and stuff like that. Yeah, that's how I feel.
I agree, and I also feel like it's really important to know who you are as a person before you settle. And the reason why I say that is many are times when I've talked to a lot of people, I've counseled a lot of people who come through my job or my previous job, and like many are the times when they rush into marriage not knowing who they are, not really loving themselves, knowing what they carry, you know, what God has put into them, and they're so dependent on their spouse, and if the slightest thing just brings their whole foundation down, you know, because it's so fragile. They don't know who they are. And it's like, if you live your life always depending on others to help you, if you always live your life not knowing who you are as a person, you know, and what do I mean by knowing who you are? I feel like everybody has their destiny, their purpose in this life. So one thing you have to ask yourself is really sit down, evaluate yourself. What is my purpose on this earth? Why did God bring me here? You know what I mean? Look at your gifts, your talents, whatever its strengths, weaknesses you have, study them, you know, and then that will kind of help you know, okay, for example, I am someone who loves to cook. I'm someone who is very creative. That is the kind of gift God has given me. Or I'm someone who loves to sing. I am good at building stuff. You know that talent that God has given to you. Okay, so now what is your purpose? Why did God put you here? Why did he give you that gift that you are carrying right now? Is it so you can just sit on the couch every day? Is it just so you can stay at home every day? Or does he want you to further that gift? Does he want you to, you know, nurture it, make it grow and become somebody and use that gift to help others? What is your calling? So you have to really like sit down and look into all these areas. If you don't know these things, okay, this is a few things, and then you meet somebody, and maybe that person is, you know, someone who knows what they're doing. Before you know, you'll be conformed to what they're doing. Right. So instead of knowing who you are, you adapt to what that person is doing. You embrace what that person is doing, accept it as your own. But you're two totally different people. You know, your purpose on this earth is different. Yeah, you may be man and wife, but you're different. God created different. Look at your hands. It's different. So you have to really, and that's why I feel like sometimes people kind of lose themselves in relationships.
Oh, definitely.
You know, along the line, you really don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what's going to happen. You're just there. And that is dangerous, I think. So know who you are. And then I feel like when God is involved in something, me and Quinta, we always say this, when God is involved in something, everything falls into place. Right. The right people come your way at the right time, and you don't even have to put in a lot of work. It's just bam, 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 bam. Everything just falls into place, and then you're settled, and you have your family. It's possible. You just have to have faith in the God that you serve, and know that with Him, all things are possible. You don't have to rush into anything. You know, because I feel like sometimes many a times when you see all these, you know, either friends, coworkers, or whoever it is around you that you know, settling down, getting married, you kind of feel like, I also want to do it. Don't fall into that trap because you don't know what those people are going through in their relationship. Yeah, in the, you know, on the outer appearance, it may seem all good and stuff, but at home you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. So you have to be very, very careful that you wait for your time. True. And not just rush into anything, and then you find yourself in a place where it's not very good, or you're not happy, or you're in trouble. So you have to be very, very careful.
Yeah. And it's a joy, you know, singleness. It's beauty, you know. It's a period of finding yourself and just exploring. You know, like right now we don't care. We like pack our bags like straight up to Florida.
Yeah, you know? We have videos coming up on that on our trip, so stay tuned.
Yeah, you know, just having fun doing, you know, getting to know you and exploring all the things that you really, really want to do now that you're young. Because when you settle, I mean, you know, kids and all that stuff, you get really busy and, you know, start, you know, fixing a family and all of that. So it takes work and time.
And one thing too, I feel like this stage where you're not married, even if you're in a relationship as in boyfriend and girlfriend, you're not married, take that use that opportunity to do things that you love. I know many times people are like, oh, I'll wait till I'm married, or I'll wait till like I'm settled down, then I'll do this particular thing. Don't. Because you will always be busy. Especially when you have a family, you not only have to take care of yourself, you have to take care of your husband, you have to take care of your children, who are a lot of work. So you have to
extended family members.
Yeah. So this is a time when you're single, even if you're in a relationship, you're still not married yet technically, so you still have that freedom, you know what I mean, to really go out there. If you want to travel, if you want to, whatever you want to do it, you know what I mean. Use this opportunity to really like go out there, find yourself, explore, have some fun.
Right. And I think, you know, I'm also kind of understanding my mom more now, because, you know, like sometimes when you get out of school and you're like, that's like the next thing you want to settle.
Yeah.
You know, but my mom always told me, you know, and she's like, you know, don't just rush and settle down. Go out here, travel, you know, spend time, you know, do whatever you want to do during this time. Get to know yourself. Just really enjoy yourself. And, you know, rather than just rush into a marriage. And then I feel like you get to skip a stage in life when you just rush straight to marriage, like right after school.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. Everybody's situation is different, but we are just saying that we feel like it's usually best when you, after school especially, take that time to really like enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? Spend time with yourself.
Yeah, and you feel and learn a lot of things in life too. You know,
you grew as a person. You gain that experience.
Live on your own first too. It's always advisable, you know, because when you live on your own, there's a lot of responsibilities that you learn.
Yeah, and I know the person I was 3 years from now, 5 years from now, is not the person I am today. And I know each day I'm growing more, I'm maturing more, you know, becoming more wiser. So I feel like if I imagine, because there were opportunities where we could have just settled. There came so many opportunities that we could have settled, but it was like God was really directing us. You know what I mean? Because there's so many, as women, there's so many men out there. Men who are hardworking, good-looking, intelligent, you name it, who are potential. But I feel like at the end of the day, we want to wait on God's time.
Right.
God's time is the best time. You know what I mean? Is the best time. So that will lead me to share this verse with you. It's Proverbs 18:22. And Proverbs 18:22 says, "He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor from the Lord." Now we know in the Bible when it says he, it could mean he, she. So if you're a woman and you find a husband, you have also found a good thing, you know, and you have received favor from the Lord. So what does that tell you? Like, there is a time and there is a place for that. So marriage is a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. When you're married, you're finding favor from God. You're receiving blessing from God. You're receiving a gift, which is children. You know, that intimacy that you can share with your spouse. But imagine if you're Russian and you end up partnering with somebody who you're not equally yoked with. Somebody who, instead of helping you to grow as a person, end up smothering you. It will be really hard to get this favor, this gift that God is going to give to you. So instead of something that was supposed to be smooth, beautiful, that you look at this marriage and you're like, yes, this is God, instead is the opposite. So that's why I said, don't give into pressure. Don't rush. Trust me, I know it may seem like other people are, but your time is coming.
Right.
So.
And just to give a little heads up for the ladies, because you know I'm all about the ladies. Lady power. Okay, I'm kidding. But, you know, it's, I don't know, but I just feel like at a certain point in life as a woman, you know, you really have to evolve and become that virtuous woman.
Yes.
You know, prepare yourself to become a mother. Prepare yourself to become a wife. You know, so there is like that stage in life that you actually have to walk on those things.
Yes.
Seek the Spirit of God to lead you and teach you some of those things. Because God knows, like, it's not easy, you know, being a mother or, you know, being a wife and all of those qualities. But I feel like we really don't prepare ourselves. And then we walk into a situation like that is a ministry that you will never graduate from it. But you never get any education about it as well. So, you know, it's very, very important for us to take that time. You know, there's like a lot of ministries out there, you know, churches are doing, you know, programs, conventions here and there for like young single people, just to like expose you into what God is actually, you know, referring to when he talks about marriage, you know, when he talks about becoming a wife or a husband even. So those things are very important to explore while you're still single.
And that's what Quinta said is so important. That's why I feel like it is essential that you grow as a woman. You become that virtuous woman. And I'm going to read Proverbs 31:2 real quick. And it says, "A wife of a noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like a merchant ship, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants." Well, it's a bit different here. "But she considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable. Her lamp does not go out at night. Her hands, she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She speaks with wisdom." They said that she watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. Amen. Wow. So you see why it's important. This is not a woman who is just sitting around doing
this
nothing.
woman is hardworking.
Yes.
Most men. What are you talking about?
And this is what the Bible is saying.
She's a hard worker.
Yeah, she's not just, doing nothing. She said that she's provided for her family.
Before they're done,
yeah.
she is,
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we hope you have taken something from this message and you are blessed with it. Please don't hesitate to leave any questions or comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Also, Quinta has her own YouTube channel and you can go and check her out. What is her YouTube channel?
Selfless 7 to 93.
Yes.
I'll put it below too. I
will put it below so you can go ahead and check her out. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Stay blessed.
And you have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.